Today we're adding a feature that will double as a countertop and a place to eat or play cards. Beyond that, we have some super small additions to add to the four-wheel camper. So, if you want some subpar carpentry skills, stay tuned. Let's get after it. Wait a second, are you subscribed? If you like our videos, consider subscribing. It really helps us. Okay, took it out of me. Let's go!
Yeah, so I'm just cruising through this real quick to see what all we have. Looks like we got like the horizontal and vertical leg, a mounting plate, which it looks like this is where it's going to be mounted back here, and of course some associated hardware and like looks like some Teflon sheets. I don't even know what those are for yet. We'll find out. Just pieces of plastic. But yeah, we're just seeing what all we have here. And we're going to get at it. So we played around with it in a lot of different places, but I think what we came to decide is when we're stowing this thing and we're not really using it, this seems like a really clean place for it to land so that you can still kind of hang out here. But this spot is versatile in being a card table, being a workstation in this area, being a workstation in this area. It just generally seems like this might be the best fit for this. Cool, so I think we found the home for where we want to mount this. I think it's important to be a little thoughtful about where your placement is of this. Obviously you don't want to be drilling a bunch of holes, and you want it to store away nicely. So we just cut out a piece of cardboard as a tabletop template, the triple T, and this is storing, I think it's stored in a really clean spot. And this will also serve, it can go up and down and be our workspace for coffee. It'll allow us to flip open the top, get our stuff out, work here. And then this also allows you to slide it out for a workstation where you could tie flies, work on the computer, and then, you know, pretty good spot for playing cards for a lot of different people. You could slide in there, slide back here, you have all this space over here. And again, this goes up and down, so we have some more play. And yeah, just rotate it. Drop it away right there. I feel like that's super clean. Another good reason I think this is the spot for this is the hardware that Lagun provides you with is actually bolts, nuts, and washers. And this spot on the four-wheel camper is super accessible. You know, I was thinking about how I was going to do this and get my fingers on the outside of the camper or who the heck knows where, but man, we could pinch this real nice, and that's a, you know, nearly a ½ inch. So this will be plenty support, real sturdy, and I think it's going to work out really well. This fits well in here, but the actual like little spacer, which we're going to need to clear the pillow, and this little lip, it doesn't fit, but just real quick fix. We'll probably just trace this out, zap it off with the saw, and we'll be good to go. So we'll show you how to do that real quick. We're just making a couple cuts because we originally cut the under plate for the table where it fit flush with the board. So basically we're just kind of recessing the mounting piece underneath the table so it's kind of hidden, maybe giving it a little better look. So that's kind of the game plan what we're up to right now. so I originally made these initial spots for where I was going to drill my holes, but they actually hit a cross piece that runs through here, so I had to slide everything down. And these two holes are actually going to be bolting on the outside of the camper, while these ones are going to be inside of this drawer here. So it is what it is. I can easily access the back side of this to screw the nuts on, so I don't think we are in any sort of trouble or anything. So we're good to go. Feels good. Let the drill do the work.
Before I immediately go and ruin the table that Chris just created, I do want to test out my methods on this scrap piece of wood that we just didn't need for the table, but is the exact same wood as what we have on the tabletop. And essentially what I want to do is, I don't want to sand the top of this. I like the natural distressing that it has. And it does obviously have stain added to it. So I do have two different stain options. We have English chestnut and we have weathered oak. So I just want to see which might match best on this wood. I also want to put a little bit of stain in the countersunk areas of these bolts and then paint the top of these bolts with black just to disguise them or hide them a little bit better. And then this might seem a little frivolous, but on the underneath, I do want to stain the underneath of this just to make it look a little bit more cohesive. And obviously I'll be needing to sand the cut edges of this so that we don't get splinters and all that good stuff. But before I go and destroy this, I'll get it out of the way and then we'll kind of play around on the test piece. So as you can see, the English chestnut stain is the winner. It matches almost perfectly. I think it'll look really good on the sides. And the underneath, it'll make it look almost like one solid piece of wood and a pretty cohesive table. So I am just gonna dive right in. Thanks, English chestnut. Woohoo! I'm so happy we got this installed. This is going to be so awesome. There were a couple things that we learned through installing this Lagun table mount or table system that we wanted to relay to you in case you're trying to install a Lagun mount in your four-wheel camper specifically. So Chris, why don't you tell us about the actual mounting bracket?
Yeah, so the mounting bracket comes from the factory pretty well equipped. You have all the hardware and components that you need for the most part. However, this is a custom installation, so we had to make a couple little modifications. We had to cut down the little spacer mounting bracket to fit our little space, and all the hardware was there. Had to run to the hardware shop one time just to get a little bit longer bolt to go between the walls of the camper. It just need to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, for sure. And there were like silver bolts, black bolts, but Chris ultimately went with the pink bolts by choice.
They're color coded metric red.
Oh.
Anodized.
Okay. I thought that was just your choice. Another thing that we learned, which I was a little surprised about, maybe it just takes time to use it and the sliding is a little bit rough.
Yeah, so the up and down motion operates on a dovetail slide. Very nice machining, and you know, when you have that type of mating parts, you know, there's any sort of like lateral movement, it's going to bind a little bit. So once you start getting higher, it's a little bit harder to operate, and you got to jiggle it a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. Maybe we'll add a little lubrication to it just to see if that helps. I think it will, but not a big deal.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people use these Lagun mounts, so if you have any experience with getting it to slide up and down a little bit more smoothly, let us know in the comments below. And you saw that I had cut that little storage container compartment down here. So whenever we had mounted this to that side, it obviously cut into our storage compartment. So there's some bolts overhanging on the back side, which wasn't a big deal. I was able to cut a slot into that storage bucket. Still able to use it, so that was really cool. But this is great. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I think another really important thing is really take a little extra time to think about your application and where you're going to mount it. Don't rush into it, because you might be cooking and using it for that, or you might be just playing cards or working remotely. Just make sure you think that out and pick the best spot to where you want to mount the actual arm in your camper.
Heck yeah. Well, what are we going to do for the rest of the weekend? No, we can't keep playing house in here. We got to go take it on the road.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should go fishing.
Okay. We'll take you fishing with us, hopefully, if you're lucky. But until next time, bye!